Well. We are live. How are we all? I've got no audio at the minute, so just bear with me. There we go, that's right. I will do a quick sound check as well. And I don't know why, but I don't think I muted the party, so they might all be able to hear me throughout the race, and I might be able to hear them, which is a little bit annoying. What's going on, Ragnar? What's going on, Bjorn? I don't know if I can mute them individually. No, I don't think I can. So, we are live in Tier 1. I am just sorting it out. Ivan, the Red Bull driver, is joining. No CJ at the moment, Bjorn. I don't really know what to do with CJ. He's a young kid, and I don't want to be too harsh, but he left his seat an hour before the race last week in Jeddah, and now he wants to turn up in Monza and race. A little bit frustrating. Left us in the, last week, when we were really struggling for drivers in Tier 1, and a lot of reserves had to step up, a lot of Tier 2 drivers had to step in. And he wasn't bothered. He just dropped his seat an hour before the race, and now he wants to reserve, and that's why I'm a little bit reluctant. I said last week that would be the last time, but yeah. So we are on board with Pro Ultra in the Haas. Okay, CJ. You can take the last seat, but don't take the Red Bull, because that's Ivan's. Take the other seat, but not the Red Bull. But you'll have to add me on EA. So, Reese, Pro Ultra, Deadly, Parallax, Jinkto, Gale, Epic OJ Cars, Be Right, Sam the Man, Edward, Abaddon 4, Sander, Pulse Luxury, Horizon, Levan, Jeffy, and Kylan. All on the grid. Big shout out to Philippe for the billboards again that you've seen in Tier 4 and Tier 1 today. He's made sure that he's got his website right in the eye of Tier 1 though, and he'll fair play to hand on the billboard to the exit. I like it. Reese, Pro Ultra, Gale. No wonder he won't let me do the billboards. He's like, no, this is free advertisement. No, I'll do them. I love it. The hustle. Gale in the Alpine, a 1:18.9 goes fastest at the moment. So, interesting here. I have not loaded any of the overlays up, so just bear with me. They might all just flick up a second, so bear with me. Two seconds, guys. Right, so, Jesus, let me just get all these off 1 second, guys. I've just done an update as well on these, so there we go. So, do bear with me. Is CJ in? Is CJ in now? Yeah, he is. And then Ivan will take the last Red Bull seat, because he is turning up. So, 1:18.7 from Pulse Luxury, Horizon with a 1:18.9, Pro Ultra also in the 9s, and Gale. Sam the Man, the American in P5, Abaddon 4 in P6, Deadly, and then Kylan Then you've got F1 Parallax just coming down in towards Ascari. An Epic OJ on the mediums, a 118.4. That is the benchmark. He's in the Williams, no problem, mate. So, a great lap from him. So I need to just check if these are working. There was just a big update on the overlays just before we came live. So I just want to make sure that it's all working. But it is very weird, this. So I have to just reset that. Open oh, I thought it shut my game down then. As professional as possible, as always. Spare me. Overlays. Yeah, on the game. I'll try it. If it don't work this time, then we'll give it a miss. Hopefully we can use them though. No, doesn't look like we're going to be able to use the overlays. What is going on? Maybe I have to reset them all because there's been an update. Maybe I've got to reset them all. That's annoying because I had everything button binded, so that is very, very annoying actually. But it is what it is. We move on. It's just, you know, when it's tier 1, we like to have the best of the best on it. I'm just going to put a few on there just to see. Ah, okay, so it is. It's a bit different, you know. Car information, that's strange. So they have updated it. Here's the battery. I don't think any of them are going to work, to be quite honest with you, but we'll see. I'll just do this whilst this is on a minute, but I will get it off in a second. The halo is the big one, isn't it? That's the big boy. Just let me see if that works a second. Just class that as number 1. No, that's not going to work. Okay, so yeah, there's a problem with the app at the moment, so I'll get that sorted after the race. Right, back to it then. So, Epic OJ is fastest, Sander in P2, Levan in P3, Jinto in P4. We've got 19 drivers on the grid plus Levan when he joins. I do apologise if you can all hear me. That wasn't supposed to happen. I was supposed to mute you all first, but these things happen. So, Jeffy Boy just coming around Parabolica and down towards the line. And it's P8 for the Williams driver, Reese in the Racing Bull. He is now on a lap as he comes around the right-hander towards De La Roggia. And then under the billboards that we have there. What is everybody's predictions for tonight? Who do we think is going to get pole position? It should be an absolute cracker of a race. It really should. So yeah, I am looking forward to it quite a bit, to be honest with you. So I am just going to do a quick sound check because I've not done one yet. Even though I set up the lobby about 15 minutes ago, I'm way behind schedule. Sounds good. Yeah, I set up the lobby about 22 and I'm still behind schedule. Reese Dye with a 1:18.1 has gone fastest here in Q1. CJ in the Williams is on a lap. Just behind the Ferrari. Then you've got Edward, Bolsker, B. Wright, Parallax and Deadly. B. Wright is still on the brink of elimination with 6 minutes to go. So this is very interesting here in Monza. The Red Bull driver should be joining shortly. I tell you how I'll get out of that, of talking to the drivers. I will join a Discord comms box. So bear with me. I don't want the drivers to continue to hear me while they're trying to race. That must be very off-putting. There we go. I think they'll probably still be able to hear me, which is a little bit annoying. Yeah, I think they will actually. I don't know how I would get around that, to be honest, but hey ho. Can everybody else still hear me? So, at the moment, there is a couple of drivers at risk of elimination. B. Wright being one of them. He is back on an outlap with 5 minutes to go. And Epic OJ goes even quicker, a 1:18.0. The man from the UK putting it down. Edward in the McLaren has invalidated it. Reese calls it a day. CJ's in the pit lane. We've got a full grid here in Tier 1. And considering we had so many drivers drop out in the space of like 1 day, which really nearly crushed the tier for that whole weekend, I think we had 5 drivers leaving the same week in Tier 1, like a group of friends all leaving the same week, which was really hard for us. But it's looking kind of competitive again. I like it. So, Epic OJ leading, Reese in P2, Sander in P3, Levan in P4, Jinto in P5, then comes Pulse Luxury Cars, Horizon, Jeffy, Pro Ultra and Gale. But it is B. Wright that is the man at risk. So is Kylan in the Aston Martin. Was he trying to get a toe off his teammate there? Edward is in the pit lane, so the McLaren is out in Q1. I know he's had it tough recently. Oh, and Kylan's invalidated it as he came around the second of the Lesmos. He's also invalidated it. So B. Wright is now on a lap and he's got to get it right. The Racing Bull driver into turn 1 at Retafilo. And then around the long right-hander. So B. Wright in the RB. Remember, 3.5 minutes to go here in Q1. Bonjour from France, says Levan. Je m'appelle Levan. So, B. Wright in the Racing Bull coming in towards the double Lesmos. Is this going to be the form of the reigning world champion? Let's see. Out of the second of the Lesmos, then that DRS will kick in, that rear wing wide open. The constructors leaders at the moment, RRB. Well, V-Carb, and he is 4 tenths up as he comes in towards Ascari. Out of Ascari, and that is beautiful from B. Wright. It's what he needed. So we proceed towards Parabolica. Edward is the first driver eliminated here in Q1. Is B. Wright going to be the second, or is he going to save himself to the line? It's only P11. He is definitely still at risk. He's got Deadly to go. Sam the man is in the pit lane. So is Pro Ultra, so they are not going to improve. Oh, unless they actually leave the pit lane. So this is going to be very, very close. Kylan has invalidated it. CJ in the Williams is on a lap. He's just coming into the Lesmos. Now a little bit of traffic in front of him. Deadly is retired. He's crashed it. He's crashed it out of Ascari. And that is it for Deadly. And that will be elimination in Q1 for the Aston Martin driver. So it's down to Kylan, who's invalidated it. Parallax is on an outlap. Sam the man is still in. Pro Ultra's on an outlap. This is going to be very close. It will be, I reckon, for B. Wright around P14, P15. CJ's invalidated it. He's going to have to go all the way round again if he's got it in the tank. That is beautiful news for the reigning world champion who sits in P11. Kylan has retired. That's another one that he will be happy about. Does look like CJ has got enough fuel to try and go again. Parallax and Edward are back out. Sam the man is out as well. Cars retires. Gale is finding improvement. All of the drivers coming up towards the line. Sander in P2. What a lap for him. Bear with me, guys, because the keyboard's just died here. Oh, there we go. B-Right is retired. He can do no more. Yes, Sander is into the pit lane. Gale is invalidated it. Oh, he's going to have to go again. That is what, when you leave it so late, you're at risk of making that one mistake. Apparently, here's a full wet race. So, around the Lesmos for F1 Parallax. He's not too far off the pace. You've got 5 drivers, 8 tenths behind Paul, the fastest lap at the moment. That is how competitive it is out there. Down towards Ascari for F1 Parallax. He's gone purple sector 2, but he's 4/100ths down on his lap time. That was a little sluggish through there. F1 Parallax will know that. And he is going to need a mighty sector 3. And I just don't think there's enough track in front of him to get it. He's got 13 seconds. He's not going to get another lap. This might have just saved him. CJ does get another lap. Edward might have just messed that up. F1 Parallax to the line. And he does make it to the line. It's P9. He did. Horizon P10. Jeffy. B-Right is in P12. He's still got Pro Ultra to go. He's still got Pulse Luxury in the Ferrari, who's coming through Ascari. He's 3 tenths up. The home heroes here in Pulse Luxury and AERT Sander as we go down in towards Parabolica. Pulse Luxury will be the first of the final runners around that final corner and up towards the checkered flag here in Q1, and it is Pulse Luxury that goes P5. Then you've got the Haas of Pro Ultra going in towards Parabolica. This is going to demote B right down to P13. I tell you, this is sketchy for the world champion. To the line, Pro Ultra goes P5. Then you've got Gale in the Alpine. He is also going to improve. He goes P7. The McLaren of Edward will be next. Has he found enough to do anything? He has. P11. B-Right is on the brink of elimination, and it all comes down to Sam the Man and CJ. Sam the Man has run it really wide. Really wide. To the line. Sam the Man is through by 4/1000ths of a second. CJ didn't do enough, and Sam the Man has scraped through by the narrowest of margins, 4/1000ths of a second. The Mercedes is through, and the reigning world champion played it too safe, and he is out here in Q1. Wow, that is big, big news here in Monza. So let me just put these down. Epic OJ is the fastest driver on track. I am just turning away from the mic to put this in. Then it is Sander, Reese, Cars. Who is the Haas? That is Haas is Pro Ultra. Just bear with me. You know what? I've never got Pro Ultra saved as a driver. I don't know why. 1 minute. Pulse Ultra, Gale, Jink to Edward, F1 Pro X, Stellan, Sander Man. B, right, everything else is right. Let me just add Pro Ultra. I'm sure I had Pro Ultra saved, but hey. So, Edward making it into Q2. And so did Sam the Man. But that did demote the reigning world champion out. I don't think there's been many occasions in B-Right's career where he has found himself out in the first 5. If not, this could be probably one of the very, very few. So that is one of the biggest shocks of the season. You will see. Jinkto in the McLaren in P4, Gale in P5, cars in P7. These are all on outlaps. 14 minutes of this Q2 session. Sorry. I've got a feeling though, if he's not finding the pace like that, has he compromised his qualifying for his race pace? If we know it's going to be a full wet race, has he opted to give up qualifying to have a better race? So that will be interesting to watch. Either that or he's absolutely mudded the 4-time world champion, eh? Come on, Jockey. Pro Ultra coming down towards Parabolica in the Haas. So we will ride on board with Pro Ultra and take us around a lap here in Monza. So down in towards Della Rocha, just a slight touch of the grass on the right hand side, but I think it actually helped him get through that chicane because it directed the car exactly where he wanted it. Pro Ultra's got that sort of shift in his car, hasn't he, where he just sort of lunges in. So in towards Ascari for the Haas driver. So down in towards Parabolica for Pro Ultra. So Pro Ultra 118.5 and then Jinkto 118.7, Levant also with a 118.7, Pulse Luxury 119.1, Gale 119.2. Then we've got a couple more drivers coming to the line. We've got a Ferrari of Sander, he's currently in P4 and he's in front of his teammate by 2.5 tenths of a second. A Banon 4 in the Alpine, a 119.3 for him. F1 Parallax will be next, just behind the Sauber, who will start his lap. What a race we're going to have here. It's going to be so competitive. So Parallax up to P8. Epic OJ is now on a lap, but Edward, oh, he's invalidated it, so it will be Epic OJ next, and we know how much pace he's had recently. He's like a man repossessed. He's like a man possessed, sorry. On track recently. Looking probably in these lap times. Even in realistic in the Alpine, he's been phenomenal. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do in an equal car. We know that the Constructors' Championship is very close. I'll bring it up actually. So that is the Constructors at the moment. You've got the Racing Bulls on 226 points. And you've got the Kick Sauber on 224. So only 2 points separate them. Don't count Williams out either, or Red Bull. You get 30 points for a win here in F7. And then if we look at the drivers' standings, we can see that Reese is the leader at the moment on 156, and then Mirko, Kaz, and Epic OJ, the two Saubers, on exactly the same points, 112 apiece. So yeah, really fascinating stuff it is. Here in Formula 7 in Tier 1, Epic OJ 117.8. He is not messing around. And he is the first driver to hit the 117s tonight. And they're showing us all that he's still got that pace. So, Kaz, his teammate, goes purple sector 1. He's just coming into the Lesmos now at the right-hander, and then into the second of the Lesmos. A big shout out to our sponsors as well, Sim Racing Setups. I just want to, whilst we've got a couple of minutes, whilst these drivers are on a banker lap, I want to go through the season that we've had. So, we started Formula 7 in 2021. We've been going now, 2021 I think it was 2020, July 2020. We took 3 months to recruit our first tier of drivers. That was just messaging drivers on PlayStation. That's where we found our 4-time world champion. For it to have grown from 20 drivers that we found on PlayStation, just racing in open lobbies, to what it's become today with 744 drivers in the Discord, 138 in realistic, and going from 1 tier all the way up to 4 tiers on a Sunday, all divisionally paced, to then now moving into a different sort of scene in terms of, we'll always prioritise F1, but then now to be able to move in to Le Mans and Assetto Corsa. We're going Assetto Corsa PC, Assetto Corsa console, Le Mans GT3, and then we are going to dabble into iRacing as well. We've got an incredible league being set up for iRacing, but we obviously don't want to overdo it. We've got a brilliant community, and we don't want to lose that community feel, because I've always valued Formula 7 as that sort of community feel, and everybody feels like family, and everybody's racing their friends. That's what it means to drive online. And when you are working, or you're at school, or you've got stresses in life, to be able to release that and forget about that for an hour, 2 hours, whatever it might be, on a Sunday afternoon, and just enjoy racing and forget about the stresses of life. That is why we build Formula 7 Racing. So for it to become as popular as it has, and the numbers, I mean, we get incredible views on a Sunday in our Formula 1 tiers, which tells me we are doing something right. It tells me that the commentary's good, the broadcasts are good, and most of all, the drivers are good. And the people that watch it are interested in the races. That's what you want. You want people interested in the races. So it means I'm just so proud of everybody. I'm so proud of the drivers and the team. But I'm also really passionate, and I'm honoured to be in a position where Formula 7 has grown to become such a great league for people to participate in. And with that then comes the sponsors, and that's where Sim Racing Setups come in, who have been great to us over the first season that we've been a partner with them. And there will be more sponsors that come on board as we dabble into these different dimensions of racing. So yeah, looking forward to an incredible season. We will definitely 100% be moving into other things as well, in terms of we 100% want to bring back the podcast. I've been talking about this for a few seasons, but it just isn't the right time. It wasn't the right time, but we will absolutely be going into that in 2026 online, doing podcasts with esports drivers, with even just with like normal drivers, your daily drivers who are just in top tiers of racing in big leagues. We will be speaking to them, and obviously Formula 7 drivers as well. So it'll be a right laugh. Hopefully we can get some watch alongs with the F1 season and things like that. But we've always said we want to be bigger than just a racing league, and I think we're doing that at the moment, which is really cool. But it wouldn't be possible without you guys, so thank you. And thank you to our sponsors as well. So Sim Racing Setups, if you are looking for the perfect race setup for any of your needs, go and check them out. Use code F7R on checkout. We are on board with Levan in the Mercedes, coming in towards Retafilo. Back onto the throttle we go. And he's just got to keep control of that. He doesn't want to let the rears flick away from him too much. Epic OJ is still the only driver to be into the 117s. Down in towards Della Roggia. He is 2 temps up here. So a great sector 1. Another little flick out of the rears there. As we go in towards the Lesmos. NXR Levan in the Mercedes. Into the second of the Lesmos. Beautifully executed. Then down the DRS straight. That rear wing will now open. So through Ascari and down towards Parabolica. So Levan going up to P2, another driver into the 117s. Then you've got, that was a bad on 4, going up to P5. 2 minutes of this Q2 session remaining. Horizon is still yet to set a lap time as he bounces over the apex there. Pulse Luxury up to P5 in that Ferrari 118.3. This is getting really competitive. Who is that? That is Restart. That is Kaz 117.7. The Salvas are not messing around. And with only 2 points separating them in the championship, in the Constructors, knowing that one Racing Bull is out in Q1, this is going to be a massive, massive qualifying session for the Kick Sauber drivers. So Reese is on an outlap. Edward just coming through Ascari. He is not on a lap. Horizon has invalidated it. More like sunset with that one. Pulse Luxury, a bad on 4. Gale in the Alpine coming up towards turn 1. Della Roggia. Sorry, Retafilo. Let's get them mixed up. Around Curva Grande, Levan calls it a day, so does Pro Ultra. They've done enough. Down in towards turn 4 and 5. And he is 2.5 temps up here, Gale. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. Right over the apex, over the curb. Into the double Lesmos for the Alpine driver. You can see how much of that apex that he will take into the second Lesmos. There we go. A bad on 4 retires in P7. Is that going to be enough to get him through to Q3? As we come through Seraglio down towards Ascari at turn 8. Into the left. Yeah, he's 6.5 temps up now. And Gale is putting on a masterclass performance to get himself into Q3. As we head towards Parabolica into the hairpin at the right-hander. Has Gale done enough to get himself through? A nice line through there. You can see that beautiful helmet and the eyes in the visor, and it's P6 for him. And Reese goes P4. Has he done enough? The Haas driver will be next. That is Horizon. Horizon is out. And the sun has set here in Q2 for Horizon. Edward is also out in the McLaren. You've got F1 Parallax. You've got Jeffy Boy. You've got the Ferrari of Pulse Luxury, who's just coming through the Lesmos. Then you've got Sander just coming into Ascari, a little bit deep on there, but still he's carrying a lot of pace, even though he went slightly deep into turn 8. Down in towards Parabolica for AERT Sander through the right-hander. Is this going to be enough? I mean, he's in P5. There's 3 drivers already out. He's probably safe. But knowing Sander, he would like to put a statement, and that is it. P2. Then you've got the McLaren of Jinto coming up towards the line. He will stay P10. Now it's on Sanderman and Parallax. And Jinto is on the brink of elimination. But has the American of Sanderman done enough? He comes to the line. He goes P8. He is through. F1 Parallax comes out of Ascari. A bad on 4 is now at risk. Jinto is out in Q2. We know how good Jinto has been this season. He's quite an incredible driver. Him and Ivan, since they made their debuts, have been phenomenal on track. So really enjoyable to watch, actually, Jinto and Ivan. So down towards line, Parallax is out. So a bad on 4 is safe. And that is it for Q2. And we move on to the business end of qualifying. So it is double Dutch for Kaz and Sander. Then you've got Epic OJ. And then the Frenchman of Le Mans. Then we've got Reese Dye in the Racing Bull in P5. And Pro Ultra in P6. Gale in P7. Sam the Man in P8. Pulse Luxury in P9. And a bad on 4 in P10. Jinto in P11. Jeffy Boy in P12. Horizon in P13. Parallax in P14. And Edward, the man from Jamaica, in P15. I don't know if he's actually from Jamaica, but hey. It's very close, Levan, you are right. I'm really looking forward to this race. The only bit I'm not looking forward to, which has happened all day, is turn 1. Once turn 1's out of the way, we are good. As soon as we get into that rhythm, as soon as we get into that train, the racing is spectacular. But going down in towards turn 1 on lap 1, I just want to close my eyes and pray to God, you know. Let me lock in, says Pulse Luxury. Lock it in, Pulse Luxury, lock it in. So all the drivers in the pit lane. Reese Dye, our Season 10 World Champion, Pro Ultra, making his debut here today. I think he has raced before, but I've not got him on the system, so he mustn't have raced for a very long time. Or he has actually been waiting a while to race, and he just never got round to it. No, yeah, I've not got him on here, so this must actually be his first race for us. So this is his debut for Pro Ultra, but I feel like I've seen his name so many times. I know he races quite a bit, but I feel like I've seen him in F7 before. Maybe realistic. And then you've got Gale in his debut season. Epic OJ, who's yet to win a championship, but he's been very close on occasions. Kaz, who is a Tier 2 World Champion. Or did he lose? Oh, he lost it in Abu Dhabi, didn't he? On the last race of the season in Abu Dhabi, spun it and lost the championship. Really unfortunate. Sam the Man, he's been here for a very long time, the American driver. Bad on 4 in his debut season, the same as Sander and Pulse Luxury. And Levan, it's only his second race here in F7, so it's quite a fresh grid. But we've still got some of the OGs on there. It's really nice to see. So looking forward to the remaining 10 minutes to see what these drivers do. Pro Ultra will be the first. What's going on, Nimble? How are we doing? But we will be live again on Wednesday for Realistic, and we will be live again on Friday for Le Mans GT3. You know what division I would have liked to have brought back? Fantasy. I would have liked to have brought back the Fantasy division. I did really enjoy that, actually. And some of the teams that we had were brilliant, weren't they? I remember that's how Super Turbo won a championship, him and Maxi Block in the Fantasy division. What was their team called now? Block Who or something like that? I can't know, that was Lemon and Maxi, weren't it? Something like that, anyway. Yeah, it was good. Ah, that's great. Yeah, Bjorn was bloody cracking today. It was really good. Really enthusiastic throughout the race. It was great. It was a great listen. You know what? As well, I was absolutely buzzing because Monza was where I got my first ever race win, and I was thinking, right, I'm looking forward to this one, and then just all went wrong into 2-1. I tell you what, Nimble, I've never known anybody to have as bad a luck than you But my goodness, 2 podiums today. Really pulled it out of the hat. Pro Ultra, Ivan is in. So the Croatian is here. That is a full grid here in Tier 1. Pro Ultra with a 118.6. And a Badon 4. And Pulse Luxury with a 119.1. And Reese coming through Ascari on an outlap. Then you've got Epic OJ Cars with a 118.111. Sam the Man, the American driver, just coming down towards the double Lesmos. And then you've got Sander in the Ferrari. In towards the Lesmos. Who's going to be first though? I think we've got a Mercedes of Levan. But he is actually slightly behind. Then we've got Reese, and then we've got Epic OJ in the Sauber. Go through into Ascari, and Epic OJ just trying to cling on, and that was beautifully executed there with a Lewis Hamilton inspired helmet in that green kick Sauber as we head in towards Parabolica. Yeah, hopefully Bjorn. So what does that mean then, Bjorn? A 117.7 from Epic OJ. You'll be able to do comms but only as a co-comms, is that right? Because then you can join through Steam on your laptop or something like that. Because will the laptop be strong enough to run the game and all that? I mean, I've got a gaming laptop, but it was always a struggle to do anything on it. I used to like use a capture card to stream up through it when we first started doing it a couple of years ago. Gale to the line, and it's P3 for Gale, 118.3, and then Reese Dye in the V-carb goes fastest, a 117.6, and he's starting to show up his now, Reese Dye. Yeah, I'm talking to fantasy though. Yeah, I didn't really enjoy fantasy, but then it got to a point where I don't know, because the point system, the gaps were so big, people then just stopped turning up. And you know what? It was in that season, weren't it? It was in that season where everybody just hated F1. The game was so bad, and fantasy just sort of got the chop, you know. But maybe we'll bring it back in the future. It would be nice. Because it was like everybody would just join in, you know, and with their mates and create a team, and yeah, it was really good. So Gale on a lap. Reese in there looks really stable today. Usually he's bouncing around like a Mad Hatter. Interestingly, actually, Mad Hatters. The reason they were called Mad Hatters is because they used to build hats for the rich, but they used to dip them in mercury, and then the mercury would poison their brain, and they would start, you know, shouting at people and spouting nonsense and drooling in the streets, and that's where they became known as the Mad Hatters. And they knew that the mercury was killing them, but the rich wanted the hats, and it was the only way to mould them. Anyway, Pro Ultra through Ascari on an outlap, ready to get going again with just under 5 minutes remaining. So you can see him just going a little slowly there, and he's going to get a nice racing line out of Parabolica. So we are riding on board with the debutant of Pro Ultra up towards Retafilo at turn 1, and you can see him just moving the car out to the left hand side so he can lunge into the right and then just hug the apex on the exit back onto the throttle, and that was Racing 101 through there, and then in towards sector 2 we go. Around Curva Grande and down towards Della Roggia. He's nearly 2 tenths up on his lap time, but he needs to find around a second to get anywhere near Reese Dye. Pro Ultra's capable of it, but is he capable of it here in Monza? Into the first of the Lesmos, using that outside curve. That's why it's there. into the second of the Lesmos, once again using that outside strip, down in towards Seraglio, and then that DRS kicks in. The rear wing is wide open as we head in towards sector 3. How far is he up? 6/10 for Pro Ultra into Ascari. This is the trickiest part of the circuit because of them bumps on the curbs, but that was very neat indeed. And Pro Ultra now going down in towards Parabolica at the hairpin, the long right-handed hairpin. And this could be enough for provisional front 2, but if he's had a great sector 3, it could be even better. Pro Ultra down towards the checkered flag, and he goes P3, so it is provisional second row at the moment. Then you've got the Mercedes of Levan. He's currently in P9, and the Frenchman in his second race here in F7, looking to show his class, but it's going to be a one-lap shootout for the Mercedes driver. Pro Ultra in P3. He has done everything he can do now. So, all the drivers on an outlap. Sam the man is still in the pit lane. He's on his way out though. So who's going to be the first of the final runners? Levan having to navigate a lot of traffic here as we go down in towards Della Roggia. And he's well up on his lap time, as he should be, with a 1:45. Here we go. This is it. The Mercedes driver. He didn't have the race that he wanted last week. As he comes through the Lesmos, he keeps it valid. Down in towards the second of the Lesmos. Oh, he's invalidated it. We jinxed him. Down in towards Seraglio. Has he got enough fuel to go again? I would think so, if he can just glide it to the line. No, he's heading in towards the pits. So Pro Ultra cannot do any more, and that is it for Levan. Pulse Luxury in the Ferrari will be the next driver to the line, and we'll see what he can do. As we just said, we've shown you the standings on stream. And the Kick Sauber are 2 points behind the Racing Bulls. So this qualifying session is massive in terms of them. Pulse Luxury down through Seraglio with that rear wing wide open for the Maranello team at the home Grand Prix. In towards Ascari, keeps it valid, and that was a huge chunk of the apex there from Pulse Luxury. My goodness, he's got to be on for a fantastically quick lap. In towards Parabolica for the Ferrari man. As we ride on board all the way to the checkered flag, and Pulse Luxury, he puts it P5, 9/10 improvement, but only P5. Epic OJ will be next. He's just come down Seraglio and in towards Ascari on board with the Kick Sauber driver. This is so important. You can see the focus in the eyes of the British driver. And Reese is also on another lap. Every single driver is on track, barring Pro Ultra, who's now into the pit lane. Here comes Epic OJ down to the checkered flag, and Epic OJ stays P2. They've equalled the same time. They've set the exact same time. This is unbelievable. That is Gale and a Baton 4 that stay in position. The Ferrari of Sander will be next. The Ferrari goes P3 at 1:17.8. Cars in the Sauber is improving. Both 1-2 are in the 1:17.663. Cars will go P3 at 1:17.7. Sam the man is P6, and Reese has not improved. I cannot believe I'm going to say this, but pole position has been taken by the person that said it first, because they are absolutely identical here in Monza by the 1,000th of a second. Brilliant, brilliant qualifying. Wow. So Reese will start on pole position, and the only reason he's there is because he set his lap first. Wow. So, Reese takes pole position with a 1:17.663, and Epic OJ is alongside him with a 1:17.663. Then comes Cars, a double Dutch with Sander alongside him. Then Pro Ultra on the third row of the grid alongside him, Sam the Man in P6. On the fourth row of the grid, it's Pulse Luxury in P7 and Gale, the Dutchman, in P8. And then on the fifth row of the grid, it's a Baton for the Malaysian driver in the Alpine in P9 and the Frenchman in the Mercedes alongside him in P10. So I just need to make sure that them standings are in the system. Bear with me. Yes, brilliant. All sorted. So it is raining. But Sanders, you were close, man. So B Wright went out in Q1. We're now going to find out if that was due to his setup for the race or not. It is chucking it down. We knew we were going to have one race in the wet. We just knew it. Unfortunately, it's tier 1. Or is it unfortunately? Who knows? I do think the drivers need a bit more time to do setups though. Everything does get started really quickly. So, formation lap. Here we go. Ivan is on the track, but he was starting P20. But he is here. That's what we like to see. I will reiterate what I said earlier. Ivan has been phenomenal since joining the grid, the same as Jinkto. They've been very classy drivers. I don't think they've been involved in any incidents. Maybe 1 or 2 for Jinkto, 1 I think, but none for Ivan. They've been very, very classy since joining the grid. And Ivan has picked up a driver of the day and 2 podiums in that time. So yeah. Look at these two. These two already want to go racing. Look, and they are raring to go. Let's have a look at the tyres. Every single driver on intermediates. This is going to be a cracker of a race. Please, please let us get through turn 1 and then we can enjoy it. Remember guys, the race is not won down towards turn 1, so just remember that. I've seen a few bowling pins and bowling balls go down towards turn 1 today. What a race this is going to be. I do apologise if you are tuning in and we haven't got any of the overlays on stream today because they've just done a huge update as I turn the stream on and they're not working. So I apologise. They will be back for next week though. Remember, if you do have Le Mans and you are looking to get racing, we do have a race this Friday, Le Mans GT3. And then we have Le Mans Multiclass the week after on Monday, and then back to a Sedo course, a console. And in between all of that, we've got Realistic on a Wednesday. So yeah, anything to tickle the taste buds. So they all line up. He's waving that green flag. What a view of the cars. Here we go. Oh, you're as excited as I am for this one. Here we go. This is it. For round 7 here in Monza. Powered by Sim Racing Setups. And it's lights out and away we go. Epic OJ slipping off the line and his teammate is already going for the move. And now they both go to attack that Racing Bull. The 2 Saubers are chasing him down in towards Retafilo, down in towards turn 1. There's a little bit of contact behind. You've got a Baton 4 who's up 3 places, but he's sandwiched in the middle of that Ferrari and Mercedes. Everybody gets through pretty cleanly. CJ is at the back. Now can we settle it down? Here comes Levan in the Mercedes around the outside of Gale. What a beautiful move by the Frenchman. Sam the Man will have to go the long way around in towards Della Roggia. Later on the brakes, just slipping and sliding. This will be the first that the drivers have felt of the wet conditions, and it is catching a few of them out. Levan is already up to P9. Here comes Gale on Pulse Luxury later on the brakes and right up the inside of that Mercedes AMG, and now they go 3 wide into the second of the Lesmos. The Alpines up the inside. Levan leaves in the space. Great racing. Sam the Man and Sander are bad on 4. Is up to P5. Here comes Jeffy Boy in the Williams. He's also made up 5 positions. Make that 6 as he goes for a move on Sander in the Ferrari in towards Ascari wheel to wheel. Wow. That is great racing. B Wright is up 5 places. The RB making a move on Pulse Luxury in the Ferrari. Side by side they go in towards Parabolica. The Racing Bull will have to go a little bit out wide, and that might compromise his exit with Horizon all over his tail. That is the 2 Saubers that are changing places, and that is Horizon. That was trying to make a move on B Wright, but as he got the straight line speed, who put the wet setups on? We will find out as this race progresses. Here comes Jinkto up the inside of the Racing Bull. They give each other the space. This is magnificent racing. This is what it's about. This is incredible. Deadly makes a move on F1 Parallax. There goes Levan in the Mercedes once again, going for another move. Sam the Man is down in towards P9. There goes Sander on a bad on for the Ferrari. Goes later on the brakes, and he sends him gliding off the circuit. And a bad on 4 just cannot get the overtake on the Ferrari man. Kars is still on the back of his teammate, who's on the back of the leader. Pro Ultra in the Haas is there. Sander, a bad on 4. They are all, every single driver is locked in that DRS train. Yes, there's no DRS, but we'll call it a DRS train. This is phenomenal. Here comes Bolska. There goes Ivan, the Red Bull driver, being let through by his teammate. That is what teamwork is all about here in Monza. Then you've got Sam the Man still trying to get a move on his teammate. He's holding up Gale at the moment. Pro Ultra is only a 10th of a second behind Cars. Into the slipstream he goes, but look at this Epic OJ for the lead of the Grand Prix. Down in towards Parabolica. There's a slight touch between the 2 British drivers, and the Dutchman just watching on. And here comes Pro Ultra on the back of that Sauber driver. All the drivers are through. Not a single one of them has any sort of damage. Here comes Epic OJ without DRS. He's going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. In towards Retafilo, wheel to wheel, as they go gliding through there like synchronised swimmers. And the Racing Bull gets the better exit. He's back into the lead, but for how long? Here comes Epic OJ, and he is not giving up this one. Parallax picks up a 3-second time penalty for cutting the corner. He's through on Edward. He's going to have to let that position back through. Here comes Epic OJ. He's got the inside line, but he backs out. What about Gale in that Alpine? And he goes for that late lunge up the inside of that Mercedes. Sam the Man leaves him the space. Very grateful for that, I think Gale was. Oh yeah, this is brilliant. This is how racing in Monza in the rain should be. This is great. I hope I don't jinx it. Yeah, Jake, I second that one. Here comes Ivan, moves to the right hand side, through Seraglio and down towards Ascari, but Deadly has that straight line speed here in the rain. In towards Ascari they go, through the left and then the double left really, the left, right, left, and then you've got Levan in P8 in the Mercedes, still in front of Sam the Man. What about Cars in the Sauber? All 20 drivers still on the track, still racing. Pro Ultra in P4, Sander in P5, you've got a bad on 4 chasing him down, and it's all going to be about battery management, it's all going to be about tyre management and strategy to see who wins this race. We'll probably see a one-stopper throughout the grid. That is Pulse Luxury taking P10, the Ferrari on the Alpine of Gale. B Wright in P12, he's made up a few places off the starting line after being eliminated in Q1 in qualifying. Deadly around the outside of Horizon and the 2 British drivers, but Horizon has more straight line speed, and here comes Ivan in the Red Bull. Is he going to go for that move? He thinks better of it, and it's better to be patient. You will get your chances, you've just got to wait for them. I've got to admit, this is a really enjoyable race so far. We're only 4 laps in, and look at this. So, what do the Saubers do? They've got to work together. They've got to think of a plan here to get past the Racing Bull. They're 2 points behind in the Constructors' Championship. They're sitting for a double podium at the moment, but they're going to want to take them extra 5 points off that P1. Here comes Cars now. Epic OJ is going to let him through. I think Epic OJ is being a bit tactical here and wants his teammate to have a crack at that Racing Bull in front. Levan in P8, that is deadly throw on Horizon. Levan looking for a move on the Williams of Jeffy Boy, down in towards Retafilo. Can he get the better exit? The Mercedes driver, oh, they do touch slightly, and luckily they are both still in this race, but that could have ended in tears. What about Ivan in the Red Bull on Horizon around the outside of Curva Grande? And Ivan, the Croatian who started in P20, is now up to P15. He's made up 5 places as we go down in towards Della Roggia. And the rain is not compromised any driver yet. So Bolska just falling slightly behind. He's losing touching distance of these drivers in front. But I don't think it will matter too much. If you can just keep going, you'll get opportunities. You might get a safety car. Here comes the Mercedes again. So, Cars is 9/10 behind Reese here. Should Epic OJ have stayed with him? Because they are now starting to fall off a bit, and Reese Dice, that's the fastest lap of this race. He is not messing around. Here comes Epic OJ. He looks like he's got more straight line speed than Cars, so I am surprised that they've swapped positions. Maybe they're talking to each other, and maybe they're like, right, listen, let me have a crack at it. Epic's right, okay, you go through, have a crack at it. If you can't get to him, switch it back around, something like that. Maybe they've got somebody listening or helping. You know, some drivers have engineers. You just don't know, do you? So the Ferrari pulls luxury on the back of the 2 Mercedes, who are running in decent places here, P8 and P9. And it's tricky conditions, especially when it's raining like this. It is tricky conditions. But these drivers are navigating it so well. Here comes Epic OJ, and they are losing tremendous amounts of time. There we go. That is the switchback. That is what I was talking about. They are 2 seconds behind Reese, and Cars has essentially said, right, okay, yeah, I'm not quick enough to stay with him, but I'm quick enough to stay with you, so you go ahead and I will just tail along. So now Epic OJ's got a bit of work to do to catch back up to that Racing Bull. So the Saubers tried it, it didn't work, they switched back. Great teamwork. Epic OJ does look like he is carrying a bit more straight line speed as well, so we'll bear that in mind. But Reese is 1.8 clear at the moment, and this is probably the, I'm gonna put it out on a limb here, this is probably the best 6 laps I've ever watched of an opening race in the rain, genuinely. So Abaddon 4, second behind Sander, no DRS. Here comes B-Rat on Gale. He's going to move to the inside of Retafilo. He does go into the inside, but he nudges Gale off. Gale went onto the grass, and a bit elbows out there from B-Rat, the world champion, and it would have cost Gale a little bit of time. He just went too far over there, B-Rat, and pushed Gale off a little bit too much. But it's good that both drivers are still in this race. Here comes Deadly on Jinkto, the McLaren driver has the inside. Deadly will have to back out. And here comes Jinkto, he gets a better exit on Gale. And up the inside of the Lesmos, the Papaya is through. And we've got an overtake from Jinkto. He is up to P12. Can Gale come back into the second of the Lesmos? He gets the better exit though, does the Alpine driver, and Gale is back through on the McLaren. Now here comes the Aston Martin of Deadly. They're going to go 3 wide down in towards Seraglio. The Aston Martin has to back out. Jinkto is back through in the McLaren down in towards Ascari, and Gale backs out. Jinkto is through into P12, finally gets the move done, and then on the exit Deadly looks a little bit quicker than Gale as they head down towards Parabolica, moves to the left hand side, and the Aston Martin is now through. What about Ivan? The Croatian is through. Gale has just lost 3 places. So that is how quickly things can change around here. Horizon picking up a 3-second time penalty. He's thrown Gale. Has Gale got damage? Let me just check. He hasn't. Only Edward has front wing damage slightly. So Gailey down to P16, but I think strategy is just going to be a massive part of this race. Epic OG only 1.2 behind now, so that switchback was definitely the right choice. Definitely the right choice. So, 8 laps of racing here in Tier 1. There's 3 things guaranteed in life. No, I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. There's 8 laps of racing in the rain. All 20 drivers still in. Not a single yellow flag. Not even a brief yellow flag. Not even a flicker of a yellow flag. God, I've just jinxed that. 1.2 is the gap. Cars is still staying with him. Then Pro Ultra, Sander, Bad on 4, Jeffrey Boy, Levan, Sam the Man, Pulse Luxury are your top 10. Then comes B Right in P11, which still gets you 6 points in P11. Remember, points go down to 15th here in Formula 7 Racing. Reese Dye setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix again. Just beating his own times at this point. There's Horizon. He's been overtaken by Balsker in the Aston Martin, and Horizon has got front wing damage, so he is going to pit. Edward, 10-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Oh, he will be kicking himself. So is Horizon, but I think his is the end. It is, and there's 3 things guaranteed in. just kidding. So, Restyle leads, and that is our first DNF, and that is Horizon. It's a real shame, really. I don't know what Horizon can do, really, because when he completed his full season here, I think he completed 4 out of like 18 races, like 14 of them he DNF. He just has such bad luck, but then he never gives himself an opportunity, because anything can happen in the race. Like there now, you've got front wing damage, just get it replaced and carry on. I mean, you see Nimblecat pit after getting damaged on lap 1 earlier today at literally 3 o'clock, and he ended up in P3. You just don't know what's going to happen, but when you give up that soon, you really just ruin your chances of ever even trying to get some out of the race. Pulse Luxury is on the back of Sam the Man. Here comes the Ferrari up the inside of Parabolica. He will go later on the brakes. Reese Dye is just racing himself at the moment, isn't he? Can Pulse Luxury get the better exit? So F1 Parallax is through on Gailey, and there goes B Right on Pulse Luxury. This is going to be his move, but he's run out of battery. Now it's going to be about the late breakers club. That Ferrari just slipping and sliding, but now B Right and the Racing Bulls got the inside, and now here comes Jinkto as well. And B Right with a beautiful overtake. He is now inside the top 10, and he is putting on a masterclass performance in the rain here. Very Lewis Hamilton-esque. But now Pulse Luxury is going to come around the outside. B Right is going to keep the inside line. He just slightly touches the grass. Wow. Here comes the McLaren. Pulse Luxury losing a position. Jinkto goes through. And Deadly in the Aston Martin just holds off. And Pulse Luxury just got to compose himself again. And B Right is now in P10 and chasing down Sam the Man. The man that knocked him out in Q1 by 4 1/1000ths of a second is now the driver in front, being hunted down by the 4-time world champion. There's a few gaps starting to open up in the top 4. They are all roughly around 1.5 seconds apart. So as we head in towards Parabolica, 10 laps done and dusted here in Monza. Reese once again racing himself, going faster and faster. 11 laps on the intermediates, no bother for him. So Jinkto staying with B Right, Deadly, Ivan, Pulse Luxury pitted. Pulse Luxury and Balsker pitted. So Pulse Luxury is going for the undercut here, and I don't blame him. 11 laps down, try and get back in front of them drivers that have just overtaken you, and then just hold them up. I'm surprised more drivers aren't going for this huge undercut. We look at the tyres. They are, I mean, the leader. The top drivers are like 65% on the intermediates. If you pitted like yesterday. But then you've got to get to the end of the race, haven't you? And doing, if they're 65% after 11 laps, imagine what they'll be after 16. Oh, cars with a little snap. There goes Gale on Pulse Luxury, and he will not be happy about that one because he's just pitted and he's going for an undercut. But Gale is through. When will these drivers pit? Are we going to see any of the front runners try that undercut? Reese has stayed out for another. Yeah, they've got no choice. I'm thinking about it, and they've not really got a choice because they can't pit yet. Yeah, Cars is pitting though, but to do 15 laps on them tyres, to be fair, Pro Ultra's tyres are the ones that are less. Oh, Levan, no! It is a really hard pit lane to stop it in time. Oh, that's a real shame for Levan. But yeah, Pro Ultra's tyres are on 59%, where everybody around him are on like 65 to 69. So he's looking after his tyres a lot better than everybody else at the moment. So Pulse Luxury is back through on Gale. Up the inside of Retafilo, and they do lock wheels just briefly. But Pulse Luxury now getting the feel, and B Wright is also pitted, so he's now on fresh tyres, but he's on the back of Levan. Is he going to go for the move? He's going to burn that battery, then he's going to go down the inside of Della Roggia. Later on the brakes goes the Racing Bull, gets it to a stop, and that is magnificent racing from the world champion in towards Della Roggia, down in towards the double Lesmos for the Racing Bull. So, keeping an eye on the drivers that haven't pitted. So, into the pits goes Reese and Epic OJ. There goes Deadly on Jinkto. The Aston Martin is up to P5 provisionally. You've got Ivan, the Croatian driver, in there. Reese and Epic OJ pit at the same time, and I think the Sauber was hoping that Cars would undercut Reese, but it's not happened. There goes F1 Parallax on Edward, the McLaren driver, down to P18. That is Levan that is returning the favour on B Wright. B Wright goes later on the break, go wheel to wheel. Do the Englishman and the Frenchman, and B Wright just goes off the track a little bit. There's a yellow flag waving. I don't know why, I can't see anything on track. So Levan is behind B right now. Some good racing though, really good racing. Fair play to them. So Jeffy Boy is in P3 in that Williams, but he's yet to pit. Levan on hat. What? Oh my god, you're right, I didn't even notice that. Levan is on hards. Everybody else has gone intermediates. Is there anybody else? No, it's him and Bolska that have gone on hards. Now that is a strange decision. But he's not falling too far off though. Cars, Sander coming through. There's a lot more drivers going into the pit lane. Reese, Epic OJ, Cars, Sander, Jeffy, Sam the Man. Sam the Man with an overtake. Oh, look at this that's going on behind. That is Pulse Luxury in the Ferrari that makes the move. Gale, Deadly, F1 Parallax. 2x4 through there. And I don't know if any of the drivers got a little bit of damage. But they were all very, very tightly bunched. Pro Ultra is now into the pit lane. Here comes F1 Parallex. He's not going to make the move on Deadly. I will just check to make sure that none of them did get damage from that. No, they didn't. So, still good racing. Restart, setting the fastest lap again. I wonder, I just want to have a look at Levan here. Did he? Yeah, he's still on the hands. Oh, no! And then now he's got damage. He should have stayed out on the intermediates. Oh, such a shame for Levan. He was having a great race. So, a bad on 4 and Jinktor into the pit lane. Sam the man on Jeffy. Be right a second behind the pair. So Ivan is now into the pit lane. Here comes Sam the man on Jeffy. I'm not sure Jeffy's pitted yet. He has actually, sorry, my bad. I think. So we are back into the normal running order. Reese to Epic OJ to Cars to Sander to Pro Ultra. Oh, Sander undercut Pro Ultra, but I would keep my eyes peeled on Pro Ultra and see where he is at the end of this Grand Prix. So Sam the man on Jeffy, still no VSC and no safety car. 15 laps done in the rain. Down in towards Parabolica, and Epic OJ is really closing in on the leader. It is getting closer. What about Sam the man? Look at this, into the slipstream of the Williams of Jeffy Boy. Is he going to go for the move? So Sam the man will have to go the long way around Curva Grande. They'll switch it for the inside. He can't get it done on this occasion, but it won't matter. He will try again. Ginto just behind his teammate in that McLaren. Reese now turning it up a notch. He's 1.6 clear again. He was just putting the feelers out. Sam the man in P7. And B right, he's just behind two of them. He's got a bad on 4 on his tail. Pulse Luxury and Gay Lake. He has made great progress though in that racing bull. He did start in P16. He's now half the deficit and down into P8. 10 laps remaining here in Monza. It doesn't look like it's going to dry up anytime soon. Here comes Sam the man into that slipstream of the Williams in front. And he's got a little bit more pace now as that Williams breaks the air in front of him. He'll move to the left-hand side. Will he go later on the brakes down in towards Retafilo? They do touch ever so slightly. Now he has the inside line. And this is great racing once more between the Williams and the Mercedes. But the Williams gets the better exit. Now back comes the Mercedes around Curva Grande. He's going to send him out wide again. He's Jeffy Boy. It's defending 101. And Sam the man frustrated once more. He will stay in P7. And Jeffy Boy doing another great job. He is 8 seconds behind the top 5. And he's got a pile of drivers queuing up to take their shot. Deadly picking up a 3-second time penalty. I tell you what, if we got a, if we did get a late safety car, there's not many drivers with penalties bar in the bottom sort of 12. Ivan has got a lot of work to do. Oh, he came on the hards as well. Ivan, he had to try something. He started P20. He didn't qualify. I mean, he had to try something and it's not worked. Oh, who's that? Is that CJ? It is CJ. He's into the wall in Ascari. And I think he didn't get damaged, which is incredible. But look at them two behind. I think that's a Ferrari and a Mercedes. Or is it an Aston? Yeah, an Aston Martin and a Mercedes. That is a bad on 4 on B right, and he is going for the move. Can he get the better exit out of Retafilo? A bad on 4 on B right. B right has the straight line speed around Curva Grande. CJ is around again. B right pulls it off and back in front of that Alpine. CJ and the Williams will carry on. He's not got damage. The yellow flagged wave briefly, and now it's gone back in. Sam the man on at Jeffy Boy down in towards the double Lesmos. He's been all over him like a rash for about 8 or 9 laps. So B right is through. A bad on 4, around 7 attempts already behind B right. F1 Parallax having a good race. Really turned it up a bit as F1 Parallax recently. So Epic OJ around Parabolica in that Sauber. 6 tenths to the leader. F1 Parallax picking up a 3-second time penalty. Sam the man again on Deadly. Here we go. The rain continuing to pour down. And it is a racing bull to 2 Saubers. The Saubers will not like the fact that B-Right's made it all the way up to P8, especially considering they will be the Constructors' leaders Sauber if it stays like this. But they would have hoped for more considering B-Right started in P16. Down in towards Retafilo. Sam the man, he needs a better exit. And that is Pro Ultra on Sander in towards Della Roggia. The Ferrari holds on. But remember, Pro Ultra pitted later than every other driver. He's going to have a lot fresher tyres. Down in towards Della Roggia go Jeffy and Sam the man. Pro Ultra will have to try again. Out of the double Lesmos, down in towards Seraglio. I love that helmet that Pro Ultra is wearing there. As we head in towards Ascari. A bad on 4. It's 9 tenths behind B right. Look at Sam the man. Your new home of racing. F7R. Oh, and that is Levan in the Mercedes that is round. And the driver's just got to be careful. Luckily nobody was around him. But he has got a missing end plate. And that is Pro Ultra on Sander. Down in towards Retafilo, and the Haas driver is through and up to P4. And the chase is on to that Sauber in front. I think Pro Ultra's in a very strong position. That is F1 Parallax. Gale is into the pit lane. And Deadly on a Pulse Luxury. Pulse Luxury switches it back up the inside, and the Ferrari goes deep. The Aston Martin goes into the back of the Scuderia. And again, and Pulse Luxury lives to fight another day. And wow, that's very respectful. Pulse Luxury has basically said, I'm really sorry about that. I went late on the brakes, you know, have the position. Wow. That is very special. Yeah, he's just giving him a wiggle as if to say, yeah, oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That was super, super sportsmanship, that. So they are back into the pit lane to get rid of them hards, I think, for Ivan. Epic OJ on the back of Reese. Only 4 attempts now. Yeah, Levan, I've not seen it yet, mate, to be honest, but we'll have a look. I don't know if you had... Did you have an incident with the Ferrari, Levan? I thought you was racing in a good position. And then you got the 10 seconds in the pit lane and then onto the hards, and I didn't actually know there was a... Oh, Pulse Luxury! Pulse Luxury has left the session. So is a bad on 4. What is going on? Okay. I don't have Pulse Luxury as a friend. Oh, he's not showing online. I don't know. So Epic O's only half a second behind Reese. Volsco is at 10 seconds into the pit lane again. Pulse Luxury back in. not lost too much time. I mean, AI is on 85 here in Tier 1, so it's not bad. Edward through on Bolska. Both pit stops. Bolska's picked to a 10-second time penalty. So 6 laps to go. I think tyres are going to play a massive part here. Let me have a look. So at the moment, Cars tyres are on 60%. 60% exactly at Cars tyres. And Pro Ultras are on 38. Here comes Epic OJ. This is for the lead of the Grand Prix. This has not changed hands all race. Reese is holding on down in towards Retafilo. Epic OJ's tyres are only on 49%. Bear that in mind. Here we go. Out of Retafilo around Curva Grande as we head towards Della Roggia. Could this be the move where Epic OJ finally takes the lead of the Grand Prix? He's going to go down the inside. No, he's not. He thinks better of it. Pulse Luxury is back into the pit lane as well. Picks up a 10 seconds on his way in. And that's a real shame. Pulse Luxury wasn't on a bad strategy, really. That is Deadly in the Aston Martin that makes a move on a bad on 4. I mean, his car is in AI. He's not joined back. We're back on board with the leaders. Epic OJ looks like he's got a bit more straight line speed than Reese. And the rain is not going to stop according to my forecast. It is going to stay. So out of Ascari, this is it for Epic OJ to take the lead of the Monza Grand Prix. He moves to the left and Reese is going to send him the long way round. Epic OJ going earlier on the brakes so he can get the better entrance into Parabolica. But Reese was so quick on the way out. A bad on 4 is back in. And that is Pro Ultra. Kaz is back into the pit lane. His tyres are not going to make it to the end. Pro Ultra is into the podium places. The Saubers are throwing it away. They've got an opportunity to take the lead in the Constructors. What is going on? They're going to end up going behind B Right. They are. That means that the Racing Bulls will still be the leaders at the end of the race if it stays like this. Here comes Epic OJ once again on Reese. He will need this race victory now. But Cars is only around 7 seconds behind B Right. Is it going to be enough to close the gap? So the pressure is mounting now. And Pro Ultra, he's only 1.7 behind the front 2. Bearing in mind, Pro Ultra, let's have a look at the tyres. Look at that. His tyres are 2 laps fresher than Epic OJ and Reese. With 4 laps to go, Epic OJ's tyres are on 60%. That is a yellow flag. That is a Red Bull. That is CJ in the Williams that is round. He needs to be careful. What is he doing? He just got out of the way. Wow, he backed up there. Wow, he was right in the middle of the track. That was really lucky. Pulse Luxury on his way out of the pit lane. CJ's on the hards. Why are drivers keep swapping for the hards? Oh, look at this. Levan set the fastest lap of the race. And that is why they're swapping for the hards. That is why Jinto's on the mediums. DRS enabled. What the hell is going on? My forecast says 87% chance of rain. And DRS has been enabled while the rain is still falling. So the dry tyres are the faster tyre to be on. Wow, Gale is on the mediums. So Cars has just pitted for fresh intermediates as well. That means that Epic OJ is going to have DRS whilst on intermediate tyres, whilst chasing down the leader of this race. This is incredible. What a race. So Epic OJ chasing down Reese Dye for the lead of this race here in Monza as we are about to go on to lap 25 of 27. And the Sauber, who is in a constructors fight with this Racing Bull. And then look at B Right as well. He's only 5 tenths behind Sam the Man. But we go back on board with the Sauber driver into the slipstream. He's going to have that rear wing open. DRS enabled. And Epic OJ, for the first time, he's going to return back to the lead. No, he doesn't. Reese
closes the gap up the inside. Now the Sauber will have the inside in towards turn 2. There's a yellow flag. That is Levan out in the pit lane, and Epic OJ is now your race leader on lap 25. There goes Cars in the Sauber. He makes a move on Deadly, who goes into the pit lane. He's now 5 seconds behind B. Right, back on board with the 2 leaders. Here comes Reese. Wow! All over the back of that Sauber, and that nearly ended in tears with 2.5 laps to go. That could have ended in disaster. Look at Pro Ultra. He's 1.2 behind the leaders on the freshest tyres. His tyres are 12% fresher than both the drivers in front. And they're going to have DRS, but Pro Ultra needs to get within a second, otherwise it will be even harder to get the race victory away from these two. And Reese does look like he's struggling a little bit now. Epic OJ is finding a rhythm. And look, Pro Ultra is losing time on the straights because these two are locking that DRS down. Deadly picking up a 3 seconds. So does B Right. And that means Cars only has to catch him by a second to take the position away from him. Which means Sauber will beat Racing Bull 2 out of 2 here. Pulse Luxury setting the fastest lap of the race. Here comes Reese with that DRS enabled. Epic OJ just stays in front. The rain is still pouring. The DRS is still enabled. And that is another yellow flag. There will be no safety car from this point on. What a race this has been. Levan, I'm going to be completely honest, Levan. Second race here, I take pleasure, but some people, it's dirty. I didn't see anything wrong with your race today. I didn't see anything wrong with anybody's race. I didn't even know you was involved in an incident. I mean, I thought your race ended because you got a 10-second in the pit lane and pitted for mediums when it was raining. I genuinely didn't know you was involved in an incident, mate. I didn't see anything wrong with your race. If there was something wrong with your race, I must have missed it. But just report it. But it must have been very minor. I didn't see like a huge collision. I might be wrong, so I do apologise, but I didn't see any huge collision, mate, or any dirty driving. This has been one of the best races I've ever commentated on. Here comes Epic OJ, and Reese was going to take the lead of the Grand Prix, and Epic OJ is going to slow down and give Reese DRS. Now, that is interesting. That is very interesting. So, the Sauber driver is now going to have DRS on to the final lap of the Grand Prix here in Monza. The Sauber driver will move to the left-hand side, and they are still battling for the lead here on lap 27 of 27. The Sauber goes later on the brakes. He defends against the Racing Bull, and Epic OJ is now your race leader. Yes, DRS chicken, Mirko. If it is done dangerously, we will keep an eye on that. There goes Pro Ultra. Oh, Reese is round. Reese is round. The Racing Bull has lost it. Does he have a puncher? I think he's got a puncher. This is incredible scenes. The Racing Bull, the World Championship leader, the Constructors Championship leader, and he is a puncher on the very last lap of this race. Epic OJ is your clear leader. Pro Ultra is chasing him down. There's yellow flags waving. And it is drama here in Monza. It is not disappointed. Pro Ultra is chasing down Epic OJ for the lead. His tyres are 15% fresher. And there goes Cars. B Right has got a puncher. Has he? Oh my God, what is going on? He has. He's got a puncher. Both Racing Bulls have got a puncher. Wow, Pro Ultra's won it on the line. Epic OJ has been beaten to the line by 0.3 of a second. Pro Ultra wins here in Monza. Epic OJ takes P2. Sander in P3. Jeffy Boy in P4. Sam the Man in P5. Pro Ultra got Epic OJ to the line, and I'm so absolutely gutted that I missed him getting it to the line. I was so, bound to the Racing Bulls with the 2 punches that I missed Pro Ultra on his debut take a victory. What What a race. Wow, wow, wow. Pro Ultra, that was brilliant. B Right is going to take a P11. He's crawled to the line. No, he's not. And he's going to try and take any point he can. And that is it. There we go. P13 for B Right. Reese will take P15, I think. And that is still 3 points for Racing Bulls. That means that could come back to help him at the end of the season. Whew. Wow, what a race. How did both races... This is going to be one of them races that is just memorable forever. For absolutely ever. Both Racing Bulls, wow. Pro Ultra, I'm absolutely devastated I missed that to the line, because what a view that would have been of Pro Ultra getting that win. So there we have it. Pro Ultra on his debut has took the victory here in Monza. It is Epic OJ that takes P2, and now the constructors leaders. And then it is Sander on the podium in that Ferrari in P3. So let's have a look through the standings. Wow. Pro Ultra wins here in Monza. Epic OJ takes P2, Sander in P3. Jeffy Boy takes P4, Sam the Man in P5, Cars in P6, Abaddon 4 in P7, Jinkto in P8, Parallax in P9, Edward in P10. Wow, what a race from Edward. Ivan in P11, Deadly in P12, Gailey in P13. Then comes B Right in P14 and Reese in P15. Then you've got Pulse Luxury in P16. I don't know why, but B Right and Reese never show up on my system. They come up as random people. Pulse Luxury, then Kylan, CJ, Levan and Stellan. Pulse Luxury with the fastest lap of the race. And driver of the day, I'm going to give driver of the day to Pro Ultra. I was going to maybe give it to Jeffy. Maybe even F1 Parallax or Edward or Ivan. But Pro Ultra from 5th on the grid. What a strategy. So yeah, what a race. I mean, we can actually do interviews if they want to. Oh, Edward, mate, you came, what a race, top 10, and you started 15th on the grid. What a race, mate. Oh, Edward, a brilliant Grand Prix. Shall we, if they want to do an interview, well, Sander's not in. Neither is Pro Ultra, and neither is Epic OJ, actually. Oh, he is in. If Epic OJ wants to do an interview, he can do. Are you there, Epic? Ah, Mr. Reese. What a race. No Epic's left. Right, that is it, guys. So, wet weather, yeah, wet weather. That is going to be one of them races that just sticks in my mind for a very, very long time. You know, it's going to be one of them races where it's very, it's just a memory for life, isn't it? One of them races. But yeah, I'm glad you guys was here. Yeah, Reese, I was looking at my system and I seen that it was only 82% when you got a puncher. That's why I wasn't sure whether it was a puncher, because I was really surprised that you'd got a puncher. But yeah, and both of yous as well, both Racing Bulls. Wow, it's just remarkable. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in, guys. We've got no interviews because they've all left me. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been an absolute blast today as well. So thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. Have a great week. I will see you on Wednesday for Realistic, and then I will see you on Friday for LMU GT3. Thank you all so much for tuning in and supporting us and you know, watching the broadcast, and well done to all the drivers. Have a great week, everybody, and I will see you on the next one.